friends, 2 time zones, and a shared love of stories.
I'm Freya.
And I'm Jamie.
Bridging time zones 1 chapter at a time.
Welcome to Once Upon a Time Zone. Hi everyone, welcome back to Once Upon a Time Zone. This episode's going to be so much fun because, as you can see, we have the wonderful, the beautiful, the one and only bestie Lottie here with us.
Yay!
Welcome to the pod.
Hey guys, I'm so happy to be here. Thanks for having me. I couldn't be more excited to sit and yap about books with you guys today.
Yay! Yeah, today's going to be so fun. We are talking about, we're going to be playing like a character game, which I think is going to be really fun between the 3 of us. But before we get into that, tradition, we always got to do our current reads first. So Lottie, as our guest of honor, what are you currently reading?
Okay, I can't decide if this is a really exciting update or a really boring update. I think depending on the type of reader, they will feel one way or another. But I am currently reading Heir of Fire in the Throne of Glass series, which is
That's a big one.
Like exciting, but at the same time, I'm like, it's kind of boring. It's not like a new release. It's like everyone's like been there, done that, like finally. But I'm getting back into my Throne of Glass journey and I'm determined to finish it before summer because I feel like there's just so many books that I keep putting off because I'm like, no, I need to finish Throne of Glass before I can read that. And I'm tired of saying that. And also with the ACOTAR announcement, like I was planning to do it anyway, but it's that extra push I needed. So I'm excited. I'm like 200 pages in, so things are heating up and I'm definitely back in my Throne of Glass era. So I'm having fun.
It's always exciting when someone's reading Throne of Glass for the first time. Like that is an experience that, I love it.
Yeah.
That's what I was about to say. Yeah,
I feel like I have so many friends who are like, I need you to live text me your updates. I'm like, guys, I can't live text everyone my updates. I love you all, but I'm like, I'm going to need to start a group chat, like to just spam you guys.
A gigantic group chat. No, that's like, it's an evergreen series. Like, it never gets old. It's always fun.
Well, I saw you guys ranking books with Emmy, and of course, Throne of Glass ended up on top. So I was like, I know this is a safe space for
your sign.
for Throne of Glass. Yeah.
I love it. That's so fun. Also, I didn't even give you the chance to introduce yourself. So for anyone, I'm like, I already know you. We all already know you. But for anyone who's anyone who's listening who doesn't know who Lottie is, she's a wonderful booktuber. But Lottie, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. My name is Lottie. I make bookish videos, mostly here on YouTube. And yeah, I mean, I'm a 27-year-old like corporate girl. I took a while off from making YouTube videos when I first started my corporate job, just because I was like, who am I without making videos, kind of. I'd made videos like my whole life. And then I just kind of missed the creative outlet so much. I really like the stability of my job, but at the same time, I just like needed that outlet. So in my time away from making videos, I got really into reading as a hobby. I loved watching BookTube, and I thought it'd be fun to come back and make videos about reading. So that's mostly what I do. I read a lot of like literary fiction, romance, a little bit of fantasy, a little bit of everything, honestly.
Love it.
But I'm probably most known for my fear of series. So that's why I'm proud of myself for
while you're in
for getting through Throne of
Glass.
Glass. Yeah.
I love it. Yeah.
That's a little about me.
I feel like you're also like a YouTube veteran. Like I've gone through some of your history. Not gonna lie, I've stalked you. But you've been through it. Like you've been through YouTube for many a year.
Oh yeah.
So
I remember the early days of YouTube back with Juicy Star 07 and then evolving. Yeah, I was like a beauty girl in middle school, and then I did more like back to school stuff in high school, college stuff. So yeah, I've just always loved yapping in front of a camera. So here I am today, still doing it.
I love it. What a time to be alive.
I love it. Can I also say you were such a like requested guest for our podcast? Like
really?
So many people were dying to have you on the podcast, and we were like,
that's so sweet.
We're happy to accommodate.
Oh, that makes me so happy.
Yay.
I love it.
Okay. Freya, what are you currently reading?
Talk about your reads, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Jamie she's been telling me to read this one for a long time. I picked up The Court Empress by Shen.
I knew it.
At this point, Jamie basically chooses my TBR. But it's actually like a shorter read than I thought. It's like less than 400 pages. So I've gotten into it pretty quickly. It's a standalone fantasy. And honestly, so much darker than I was expecting. I kind of picked it up and I was like, yep, okay, standalone fantasy, yay. And then I started reading it and some of the themes are like, I was just like, oh my God, I need to put this down for a second. So it's a lot, but we finally started it.
Do you like it so far? Even though it's
the
dark?
writing's beautiful. Very, very, it's very much reminding me of Song to Drowned Rivers. I'm not sure if that's just because you also wanted me to read that, but like it's a very fast-paced.
Similar themes.
It's like a very fast-paced, like a lot of time passes very, very quickly. And I'm still not used to that, to be honest. Like I feel like that's a very literary fiction kind of thing. And I think on the back it says like this is for fans of like literature. I've already lost it.
Words.
Litfic fans, if they like want to make their debut into fantasy, apparently it's a really great place to start because it's kind of got very similar themes, and I can very much see that. Especially as I'm starting to get into more literary fiction recently. But yeah, loving it so far. What are you currently reading, Jamie?
You're going to be destroyed. I just finished a horror. So, yay, super fun, very different for me. But I just finished reading You Did Nothing Wrong by C.G. Drews, which was actually on my anticipated reads for this year. But I'm kind of new to horror, so it's hard for me to review it right now because I'm always just like at the end of a horror, I'm like, oh, like my brain, my mind, everything sucks. I feel so bleak. It's just like, whoa, what happened? But I enjoyed this one. I really like C.G. Drew's writing. It's very lyrical. It's haunting. This one was really, really psychological. Like it really messed with your brain. But essentially we have Elodie and she has a son, Jude, and she's like really struggling to like make ends meet and stuff, but she meets this golden man and like falls in love with him, convinces him to fall in love with her. She gets pregnant. And then she moves in with him. But his house is this like crumbling estate that probably once was like really grand and everything. But now it's like, it's breaking down. It feels kind of haunted. And he's like, I'm going to renovate this house to be the perfect family home. And we're going to like spend our happily ever after in here. But as they move in, it's like, ooh, this place is kind of creepy. And then her son actually starts saying that he's starting to hear the walls breathing and starting to hear the walls talking to him. And the house is saying that the renovations they're doing are hurting the house. And so Elodie's like, is this really happening? Like, this is kind of weird. Or is my kid just having like a wild imagination? And it goes on like twists and turns that I didn't expect. But yeah, I like binged this one. It was so good.
That sounds so creepy, but it sounds really entertaining.
It was creepy. Yeah. I don't think, Freya, you'd love it because it is quite gory.
Yeah, okay. Putting that right aside then.
Yeah. It's really good. And next I think I'm going to pick up Homebound by Portia Elan, which was on my April TBR. But it's an arc. I haven't heard anyone read it, but it's
that's kind of the best.
Yeah, it's like I don't even know what genre it is, if I'm going to be completely honest, but it was comp to Tomorrow, Tomorrow, and Tomorrow in the Ministry of Time. And so I'm like, okay. I like it. There's like video games, there's space, there's kind of like future timeline, parallel overlapping stuff. It sounds fun.
That'll be so much fun.
Yeah. I'm branching out this month.
Have you read We Used to Live Here?
No, I've heard good things though.
Yeah, that one's interesting. It's going to be a movie, but that author has another new book coming out this month that people are excited about who like horror. I forget what it's called, but I don't know. It wasn't like my favorite, but I can see why people liked it. But that's like I read that and like one other horror last year, but I'm not like the most well versed with horror either. I'm trying to dip my toe in, but I'm like, I don't know if this is for me. I can't tell. I feel like it's such like a spectrum between like psychological thriller, horror. I don't know. I feel like they all kind of mix together.
Yeah, but just like a little more gory, like more visceral blood stuff.
Yeah, but like if you're used to reading fantasy where there's like stuff like that, sometimes it's like I don't know, it's not sometimes like the psychological thrillers or like the like when there's like a kidnapping or something, like sometimes that's scarier to me than just like crazy gory stuff that's like almost like satirical horror. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I love a psychological thriller if I actually want to be scared. With gore, I just like, ugh, I'm so squeamish. I can't deal with it.
Yeah.
So I usually just, even in fantasy books, I'll just be like skimming the gore scenes. I'll be like, I'm not reading this.
Yeah.
Don't need this.
No need.
Yeah.
The thing I find though, like with CG Drews in particular, the gore is described in this almost really beautiful way. So like you feel really mixed about it because on one hand you're like, this is so gross. Like it's really, really disgusting. But on the other hand, you're like, wow, this writing is so beautiful. Like the words you're using to describe like all the blood and guts is like beautiful. So it just leaves me very confused and torn. But I do really like the writing.
Yeah. That is
It's an odd
interesting.
experience. Yeah. Anyways, we can jump into our fun little game that we're playing today. So essentially we made up a bunch of prompts that are like which character is most likely to blank, and then we'll all kind of just like put up our character who we think fits the prompt. It's going to be fun. I'm curious to see what you guys have.
I'm so curious to see what you guys said.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see.
So
it's like what's it called? Is it like Pictionary where like everyone puts one up and then if anyone has repeats, it's like whoever has. There's a game that we used to play in school where there'd be a question, you have to think of the most original answer, and like whoever comes up with the answer that no one else came up with like wins. So I will also be curious to see if any of us have overlapping ones, or if we all think of different ones, because I'm sure you guys thought of some that I didn't think of, so I'm excited.
yeah.
It was actually a lot harder than I thought, to be honest. I was like, oh, this is going to be easy.
It
And then I
was.
was like,
Some were harder than others, but I was sitting here like, I have no idea for some of them.
It's like, what character have I ever read about?
Yeah, just
No,
like
the moment you asked me this question, I'm like, I actually haven't read a book ever in my life.
ever.
I was like texting bestie Katie, and I was like, Katie, like, can you, like, I need help. Like, I need to brainstorm. So shout out to Katie because she helped me
Thanks,
with
Katie.
a couple of my answers.
Yay.
Yeah. I was like, Katie, we need, so she influenced me a little bit with some of mine, but anyway.
Amazing.
I love it. We need to call a friend
I
sometimes.
had to call in for backup. Yeah.
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 No, yeah.
Sometimes
it was
you
literally
just need
just
to
like
brainstorm.
staring.
Like
Yeah, like staring at like bookshelves like behind me, like blank stare. Like
Yeah.
Me
I was getting
too.
them off. I was like, what's the main character called again?
yeah.
It's like,
What's
hang on.
their name? Okay, so our first one is which character is most likely to win a reality TV show? Lottie, go first.
Okay. I have 3. I don't know if like you guys have like 1 for everything or more. Some of them have 1, some of them have like 4.
That's impressive to
I
me.
love it. I picked one
I don't
for
know,
each, but I love that you
Okay.
you reached for the
I
stars.
was just kind of brain dumping. Like I was like, I don't know who, but here's some options. So I feel strongly about 2. So the first one I was going to say is Orly from Wild Dark Shore. I feel like he would win Jeopardy. He's the
Very
little kid in
smart.
Wild Dark Shore, if you've read it. He
Yeah.
is a treasure trove of knowledge. He's just like one of those kids who like is super, super smart and knows everything. So kind of a fun one because he's like, but he's a little bit of a side character. And so I was like, I feel like Orly would kill it at something like Jeopardy. But then I
Probably.
also was sitting here staring at my shelf, and the other one that I came up with was June from Yellowface. I'm like, I low-key think that she would crush it at Survivor because she can like lie, cheat, steal.
She's got
She
the
can outwit,
instinct.
outplay. Like, honestly, I was like, I think that she could go all the way. So that was my other one. What about you guys?
Love it.
I love
2 very
those.
different characters, but
Yeah.
yeah, could win
Yeah.
at different games. Like depending on
Yeah.
what reality show you're on.
Well, because that's the thing too. I
Yeah.
was sitting here thinking, I was like, are we talking Love Island? Are we talking The Traitors, Survivor? Like, I have a different answer for every show. So that was part of why I had so many in my head.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Those are 2 really good ones.
Yeah, no, it really does depend on the show though. Because I was more thinking like Love Island kind of vibes. I was like, I'm
Yeah.
gonna go with that.
Who's
So
winning
mine is
Love Island?
Miles from Funny Story. I just think he is like such a laid back kind of character that, you know, how they have to go in and then they get separated from like, in kind of any like reality show, you get separated from all your like technology and you really like, you know, just away from the world. I was like, I feel like he would be fine with that. Like, I feel like he is so go with the flow, but he's also very like charismatic and a little bit charming. So if it was like a dating show, I think he'd easily win the heart of the audience watching. Which I feel like is the biggest thing. So yeah, that was kind of my train of thought for that one.
That's fun.
I love it.
He's
So
such a like
random.
dynamic, like go with the flow character that I feel like he would thrive. He could thrive in like almost any setting. So I feel like that's a good one. He could definitely
He's
like Big
flexible.
Brother. Like he's very likable
Yeah.
and like could kind of
Yeah, that's what
he
I was-
has
I
like
was just
Libra
like-
energy to me. Like he's very like even and like I don't know. Yeah, likable.
Yeah, literally. That was my thought. I was like, the audience is going to fall in love with him. And then that's kind of who just wins the reality show. So
Yeah.
Yeah. We need like a fan favorite.
yeah.
Speaking of fan
Totally.
favorites, the character I chose is Rocky from Project Hail Mary. Because number one, okay, if we're talking about like a Jeopardy or like a Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, like Rocky's smart.
Yeah.
Rocky's got it all.
No, Rocky
can
has,
figure
like-
it out.
Like instant because we were okay when we left the movie, sorry not to like sidetrack my brain
We do a
ping-pongs
lot of
around,
that,
but
don't worry.
when we
All the
left the movie Anders was like, or I was saying to Anders, I was like, wait, why doesn't Rocky have to have, like, does he have something that plays, like, what Rylan said and then translates it, like, back to him? Like, how does Rocky do that? And then I was like, wait, and let me revisit. Rocky literally, like, as soon as he hears something, like,
Yeah.
memorizes it. And,
Yes.
like,
Yeah.
he only has to, it's, like, photographic, but, like, not, obviously. 'cause-
Audiographic.
yeah. And I was, like, just impressed with Rocky all over again. I was like, right. So
Yeah.
he's a genius.
Genius. Can build stuff. Like if it's a building show and like, you know, you need to
Yep.
craft things. Survival, he'd do well. And
Survival
also,
instincts, yep.
he could very easily become a fan favorite too. So if we're on a show where there's voting and like, you know, audience needed, like Rocky's charmed us all. So he could win anything.
Totally.
Yeah, I feel like that was a very dynamic answer as well. I feel like that was an
Yeah.
all-rounder. Covered all
Yeah,
bases.
Rocky on Love Island for sure. It would work.
At this point, probably, yeah. Should we do next question?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. I loved this one. Which character is most likely to get banned from a library? I thought that was so funny. Actually,
I
that
need
was
to
really
hear
hard for me.
Your answers. No, this was the one that, guys, I was sitting here in this room staring at my bookshelf for 20 minutes and I was like, I don't know. I was struggling. So I have some, but I want to hear what you guys had to say.
Okay, why don't we go
This
backwards,
is-
Jamie?
Okay, this is one that I couldn't narrow it down to one character because I'm like, I feel like a lot of characters that we read about could get banned from libraries, but I picked Bobo from Beartown. I feel like he would get into some, you know, kerfuffle trying to protect, you know, certain characters
Yeah.
and would just get banned. But like he didn't act out for a bad reason. Like he just wanted to protect, but he's
just
banned from the
passionate.
library because of circumstances because he's Bobo. So that was my reason.
You went on a whole like thought train for this one.
yeah. Yeah, I'm like why? Why would he be banned from the library?
Yeah.
There's a reason why.
Yeah, I love it. Bobo is one of my favorite characters. I have like a list at the bottom of like random favorite characters that like I would love to slot into one of these, but like couldn't really find where they would go, and Bobo's on that list. So I think that's a good one because I love him.
Yeah. I feel like Bobo, I had Bobo on my list like 3 times for like 3 different prompts. And I was like, okay, which
Yeah.
one fits the best? I don't know. Yeah. He kept coming up to my mind. I think it's
Yeah.
probably
Sounds
because,
A strong personality.
yeah. And like
Just a
Lottie, I know
sweet-
you've
well,
just
okay,
been
I
like,
don't want to say anything too much. Like he has a character develop. He's very different in the last book than he is in the first one. He matures a lot because he's like 16 in the first one. So not to like overshare about like what to expect with his character arc if you haven't read the books, but like he definitely has a journey. So if you hear us talking about Bobo in a certain way and you're like, that's not the Bobo I know, then
You're like, what?
maybe just keep reading. But yeah.
keep going at it.
Yeah.
Okay. Freya.
Okay.
Who do you think?
Mine was Jesper from Six of Crows. I pretty much just I was like, who's the most like disruptive character I can think of? And I was like, you know, I feel like he's a bit clumsy. He's probably going to just be like tripping over stuff, making a mess. People are going to be like shushing him. He might like
Yeah.
steal something because like it's pretty or whatever. Like, I just feel like he's like one of the most disruptive characters, like lovable, love him so much, but one of the most disruptive characters I can think of. And like while everyone else was like in the library, like studying, trying to like find these answers, he would just be like wandering around and like can't sit still. So I was like, to me, that
Yeah.
warrants a ban from the library.
Yeah. Also could be like a result from a heist or something. Like a heist
Yeah.
gone wrong, and then
Yeah.
he's just not allowed anymore.
Yeah, exactly. There's a few options actually.
I love that one. Lottie, who did you pick?
Okay, I have Riddick from Fourth Wing, just because he's kind of
Okay.
like the jokester, the
Yeah.
like, I feel like he would, in order to like make people laugh or just like do something silly where they're like, all right, you're out of here, brother. So I felt like any of those kind of characters that are like the comic relief. Like I also thought
Yeah.
about like Fred and George Weasley from Harry Potter. And then like Wendell from Emily Wilde. Like I also think he would just be like in there like yapping away, and they'd be like, Wendell,
Yeah.
pack it up. Like that's enough of you for today. So just kind of like those kind of brand of like goofy kind of characters, I feel like were what was mostly coming to mind for me for this one.
I love that you both went like goofy. Like Riddick and Jesper, I feel like kind of fit the same mold, like kind of play the same kind of role in their worlds.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I haven't read
you
Six
went
of
like-
Crows, but I trust. I'm like, I need to read that.
He is like the classic, just comedic relief, honestly. And yeah,
Yeah.
you should read it. It's so much fun when you're
Yeah.
back. Now that you're back in
I've
your
been-
fancy era.
Yes. I haven't, I feel like I need to read, what is
Shadow
it?
and Bone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shadow and Bone first. And so I haven't gotten to it. I'm like, we'll get there eventually, but
Yeah.
I want
one
to.
series first and then the next.
Yeah.
We're doing one thing at a time.
Yeah. No,
But
that's like
Six of Crows is high on my list.
I think that's something on a lot of our like 2026 reading goals is to like not just be in a part of 20 different universes at the same time. Like reading down series is very much a goal of a lot of us, I think.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it
That's
gets
Too
overwhelming.
yeah.
Okay. Next. Wait, which one's next? Okay. This one, I can't wait to see yours. Which character is most likely to be chronically online? Okay, Freya, you haven't gone first yet.
Oh,
you
yeah.
go first.
Yeah.
I actually found this one probably one of my hardest for some reason. I ended up going with Evelyn from Our Infinite Fates. And my reasoning was I feel like she'd
Oh.
just be stalking and just like
Yeah.
trying to find out anything she possibly can to the
Like,
point
find
where
Jump
she
on
Finding
my
just
friends.
yeah, literally until the point where she's just like so deep in it that like she can't come back from that. That was like literally the only person I could think of. I find it really hard to put characters from like, even though they might be like modern world, I find it really hard to put them in our modern world and like imagine them using technology and like social media and everything like that. It's weird in my brain, and it's like also a thing when I'm reading and they mention like, oh, they were on Reels on Instagram, and I'm like, I don't like that. I don't know
Yeah.
why.
Faybook? Well, is that what it's called? Faybook?
Oh yeah, like,
In
this is why I
Zodiac
don't
Academy?
like Zodiac Academy.
What are we talking about?
Zodiac Academy.
No, I
It's
have not
Facebook.
heard that.
Yeah,
Stop.
that was like my last thing. I was like,
Jail.
absolutely not. No.
They all carry
Jail.
around iPads essentially. What are they called? The little iPads? Is there
I
like
don't
a
know.
fantasy name for them?
It was
They
like a
carry around
tablet thing,
iPads.
wasn't it?
Yeah, it's like a
Yeah.
tablet
Wait, it's
thing.
kind of giving like Victorious, like the pear phone and like the slap. Like that's how I'm picturing it in my head, where I'm like, we're getting updates.
Yeah, and
literally
the two twins, their names are Tori and Vega? Are those their two names? No,
No.
Tori and Darcy. Tori Vega.
Darcy, yeah.
No, her name is wait, what's her last
It's
name?
Tori. Wait, Darcy. Oh, right. Their last. Oh God, I don't know the last name.
I swear it is Victorious. Like it is.
It's that would be
Anyways.
hilarious.
Yeah.
We've never made that
Okay.
connection before. That's so funny.
No, it's the same. I chose for Chronically Online Luke from Addie LaRue. I think kind of a similar train of thought that you were going with Freya, like just the stalking thing. Like
Yeah.
he's a very obsessive character. He wants to like keep tabs on everyone he's interacted with and everyone he's like, is it a spoiler if I say no? Because he bargains. Like everyone he's
Yeah.
bargained with, like he wants to keep tabs on them. And I feel like he's also very self-centered, so he would make like a mysterious profile for himself and it would
Yeah.
go viral. But like you wouldn't know who was behind the account. It would kind of just be a little mysterious, kind of shadowy, but like it would go viral. And there would be people obsessed with him, but like you don't know that it's Luke.
No, I love that
Yeah.
answer.
That's a good one. Okay, well, I didn't go with the fantasy route. So I went
Love it.
contemporary romance. I agree though. I feel like when they talk about like TikTok and books, I'm like, "Ugh, guys, like scroll, whatever.
Yeah.
But there are people who have like either a sense of humor or just like a job that I feel like would like they would be the type of person to like show up for drinks or brunch and like make a reference like of whatever the latest like TikTok audio is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so who I came up with for that, I really feel like Poppy from People We Meet on Vacation. Like I feel like I know that she's like off
Yeah.
jet setting and she's traveling for a lot of the book, but at the same time, I'm like, Homegirl is definitely scrolling on those flights. Like she's
for
staying up to
sure.
speed. Like she's making good, probably like travel vlogs. She's like writing, of course. She's taking lots of photos, but like she's gonna be on Pinterest. She's gonna be on Tumblr. She's gonna be like getting her inspiration, you know. So I feel like Poppy made a lot of sense to me for like a character that's like a modern character that's would possibly be chronically online, but not in like the most annoying way, hopefully.
Yeah.
So she's who I thought of.
No, that
No,
makes
I think
sense.
that fits.
Very much more of like, yeah, a literal one than ours. We're just
Yeah.
like branching
Well, I
out.
was thinking that way, but then I was like, I don't know. Like, I wanted to like try to pinpoint someone who like I'd be friends with and we'd show up to brunch and she'd be like, girl, we need to make this TikTok.
Yeah.
But in like a fun way.
Yeah, she's up on all the trends.
Yeah.
Our next
All
one
right.
is which character urgently needs a therapist? I mean, like most characters.
This is
Yeah.
the thing. I was sitting here and I was like, guys, I could make a list of like 100 actually right now. I think if a lot of the characters in the books on my shelf had a therapist, there wouldn't be a need for a book because the plot,
Yeah.
hopefully,
Yeah.
like it wouldn't be there if they had a therapist. So
You know what
there's that.
I'm seeing more in books now where characters will actually go to therapy. And I'm like,
Really?
oh wow. Yeah.
I like
Like I'm
it.
seeing
Yeah,
it
like
come
in
up in
Deep
books
End.
now.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's definitely
that's
one.
true.
Yeah,
Like it's actually
I liked
becoming a
that.
thing. Yeah.
But I like it more when it's like in the book versus like in the epilogue or like in the it's like and they
Yeah.
started going to therapy. Like I'm like, okay, well, I'm
Yeah.
glad that we included that, but I think if you're gonna include it, I like it when it's a little bit more of like a part of the healing that you get to kind of see, especially if it's like more of an emotional character driven story where you're like invested in seeing some growth and it can be like part of that, and it doesn't mean that it has to like fix everything obviously, but I think sometimes it can like set you back because it like makes you realize things that then it's like I don't know, I think it's like an interesting thing to include and can add a lot of like depth and like grounding to a story that makes you kind of relate with the characters more, especially when they're being so I could go on about this forever, but especially when they're being so avoidant because I'm like, can we please like I can't keep sitting here watching you avoid your feelings like when we all know
Yeah.
what's going
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. Where
So,
especially in a lot of like contemporary books where it's like so many of the problems stem from the character just like being quiet or not speaking up or not like confronting their feelings. It's like going to therapy forces that out of you. So it definitely helps like, I don't know, move the journey along.
yeah, I was gonna say too, with even just with I feel like there's so many books focused on grief right now and like literary fiction. Like
Yeah.
I feel like one in every four books, there's like maybe
Yeah.
at least like a minor theme of grief, and like nothing's wrong with you if you need to go to therapy. Like everyone, I go to therapy, so
I go
I'm
to
like, and
therapy. Yeah.
so I'm like, I literally everyone can go, but like I think with things like that, it makes a lot of sense to kind of work through that. Like in the Future Saints, there was one too, which I just read, a therapist.
Yes. Yes, there was.
Which was
Yeah, I remember
nice.
that one. Speaking of though, what character
Yes.
did you think,
Okay.
Lottie?
I literally wrote so many. Okay, Dr. Frankenstein, first and foremost. Get that man a therapist. Instead of creating Frankenstein, we could have been in
Yeah.
therapy.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
he, I really can't with him, guys. He's the worst. So, uh, yeah, enough said.
Okay.
And then I also had, okay, I have one from Dark Matter, but I feel like it would kind of, I don't want to spoil anything from Dark Matter. Have you both read Dark Matter
I
or
actually
I
neither?
haven't.
Okay,
Yeah.
because you guys have read Recursion, so I don't know why. And then
Yes.
I haven't read Recursion, but I've read Dark Matter. Okay, I won't say anything then, because I don't want to
Okay.
spoil
Okay.
anything for you guys.
After I've read it, I'll
Um,
text you
We'll
and be
ask you
like,
later.
yes,
what do you
yes.
mean?
Um, and then my other one was Bennett from Passion Project, which is a romance.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, I really enjoyed that book, but that girl Bennett, but the thing is too, I think with therapy and like contemporary books is like obviously therapy is so expensive and like
Yeah.
healthcare in the US, it's not
Mm-hmm.
covered. So I think sometimes it's not realistic for the character to be able to afford therapy. I think when I was reading like It's a Love Story by Annabelle Monaghan last summer and the character was like a child star and I was like, okay, well, she could afford therapy because she's like in this
Yeah.
nice house in
Yeah.
California. And I'm like, she's just not wanting to go. But with Bennett, she was like, she had a couple roommates in New York. She was just getting by. So I'm kind of like, it's
Mm.
tough in those moments with the contemporary like stories with therapy and stuff. But Bennett desperately needed a therapist.
Needed. Definitely
Yeah.
needed. Yeah. That's a good one. Okay, Freya, who'd you choose?
I feel like this one is a pretty obvious answer, and that's Kat from The Favorites.
Well,
I
yes.
Yeah.
was just
Uh-huh.
like I feel like a lot of her
Yep.
like problems could have been solved if she just like talked about them to literally anyone, but
Yeah.
yeah, preferably a therapist. Yeah, she was a bit of a chaotic mess. Like obviously love the drama for that reason. Like we love how dramatic and
Yeah.
like toxic that book was, but objectively she needs a lot of help. So
Yeah. You'd
yeah,
think
very
there would be
complicated
like
character.
there would have been some sort of like a sports therapist
Yeah,
that
kind of
could
like
have
tagging on Lottie's
helped a little
point.
bit.
Like
Yeah.
she's in that industry, like you'd think
I
there would
think
be a
there's
bit of
just
a
like
support system.
oftentimes not, yeah. I think there's just oftentimes not enough like mental health resources for athletes, like what Alyssa Liu was talking about at the Olympics and stuff, and trying to like really like drill that in. And like, I feel like anytime the Olympics comes up, a lot of the athletes are talking about that. But I feel like so many
Yeah.
of them can benefit, especially just being on a big stage like that. That's going to be so much pressure on yourself.
Yeah.
And like, especially if it's something you've been working on since like childhood and like your parents have invested all this time and money into it. So, or not with Katerina, which is another reason she could
Or not.
benefit
Yeah.
probably from therapy. But yeah,
It would have helped
I
a lot
agree
of
with that
people
one,
in that
Freya.
situation.
That's a good
What was
one.
your one, Jamie?
Okay. Lottie, you're gonna get this one. Margot from Best Offer Wins.
Oh, for sure.
Definitely. Definitely. Freya, you need to read this
1000%.
book.
I don't think I've heard
So
about
good,
it.
Freya.
It's
I don't
so
think I've
good.
even heard about this one.
Like,
It's
so good.
it's like Yellowface but real estate. So we have like Margot's our protagonist and like she's trying to buy a house for her and her husband and to like start a family in, but like the housing market sucks. It's like too expensive, bidding wars, whatever. So she hears of this house that's about to come onto the market and she wants to snatch it up before it hits the market because she doesn't want it to like go into bidding wars. So she starts like stalking the current owners of the house and like befriends them and just starts like infiltrating into their lives. And the more she like, you know, goes in, she
Like,
gets
acts
more
on every
involved,
intrusive thought she's ever
unhinged.
had.
Yeah. No, literally.
Okay.
And the
That makes
the
sense.
scary
The
thing
best
is
like slump breaker. Like, it's such a good, like, if you're feeling not enthused to read, you're feeling slumpy, you need just something to like,
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know,
I'm-
fast
yeah,
paced so you
literally.
can read in like a day or two. So good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And you'll be like,
Literally probably gonna
what?
pick
Like,
it up in
why
the
is
next
she
weekend.
doing like why is she doing all
Yeah.
of this stuff? It's insane. But in the most fun way.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds so fun. Oh
But
my gosh. I love
she needs a
I love these
therapist.
videos. You get like
Yes.
such good recommendations from them. It's like that's the question that we get recommendations from the characters
Yeah.
that need therapy.
Who needs a therapy? I mean, no,
Honestly.
truly, like the characters that need therapy make the best books. Like they have the most problems, you know, things to work through. So Yeah, no, you have to read that one. Keep us posted.
Yes, I will. All right. The next question. Which character, I guess this is more fantasy aimed, but which character is most likely to burn down a kingdom over a breakup? I'm so curious. That's like female rage, kind of, but it's just like if you were really awful, this is what you just.
I want to hear what you
revenge.
guys had for this one.
Jamie, do you want to
Who's
go
going
first?
Okay, I can go first. I chose, honestly, I don't think either of you will know who this is, but Victra from Red Rising. You'll just have to read it to find out.
Yeah,
but
I don't know.
She is very much like, yeah, that female rage type of a character that will defend herself and defend those she loves at all costs. And she does go wild and she does go feral, and she's wonderful to read about. So that's another point convincing you to read or continue Red Rising.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely. We love female
What's your
rage.
progress, by the way, on that, Freya?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm like halfway through now. It's very slow. I'm doing the graphic audio of Red Rising because I read Red Rising like 2 years ago or something, and I didn't mind it, but I just never continued the series. And I kind of have forgotten a lot of what happened. So I'm doing a reread via audio, and I'm doing the graphic audio, which means you have to listen to it at like 1x speed because there's like sound effects and everything.
Sound effects. Yeah.
So it's a very, very slow progress for me at the moment. But we're slowly getting there. I'm sure the rest of the series will go by quicker.
Yeah. Lottie, have you ever like been curious about it, the series?
Yeah, definitely. It was on my 25 books to read in 2025, but I just didn't get to
yeah.
it because I don't have a physical copy. And so I just like wanted to get to it at some point. But then I don't know. I feel like when it's not on my TBR cart, I have a harder time picking it up. And then sometimes I just need, especially you guys know with series and me, sometimes I just struggle to like jump into a series or really like any book that's like highly anticipated if I don't have a reason. Like I really like when a book fits a season really well, like The Secret History. I like tried reading in the fall because I was like, okay, it's my time to read it. Like I need some kind of like catalyst, like, oh, the TV show's coming out, or like there's another book in the series, like something like that to kind of like get me on the bandwagon sometimes. Not that I don't want to read it, but I feel like sometimes things like that can help me like get moving on something or get inspired to pick it up. But no, I definitely want to read it. It's on my list, and that's one that like I could potentially see myself getting into after Throne of Glass in terms of like a longer series, because I know Red God is supposed to come out this year, which is very exciting.
Well, see, the thing is, it's the date's not
will it
officially
come
announced.
out? Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I know. I
because
feel like everyone
apparently-
who's caught up is like very cynical. They're like, it's not gonna happen. Like, don't remind me. I'm like, okay, well, like I'm just like keeping it in my head so that I can hopefully like motivate myself to read them. And then, you know, if it's not out, then I'll wait with all of you and I'll be caught up. But
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I feel like the date will at least hopefully be announced at some point this year, but who knows at this point.
take your time though, you know, we don't want to rush anything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Apparently
look, you'd rather like wait for a better ending. Is it the ending actually?
it
Yeah.
is the
Right?
ending.
Yeah.
It's the last one, and the working draft is like over 1,000 pages long right now, but he's still trying to find the heart in the story. That's like the main tagline.
Interesting.
He's still trying to find the heart. So it's like, okay, take your time. You know, we need to conclude this world in a really good way. So like, you do you.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
All right. Freya?
Oh, yes. I almost forgot we were talking about a question just then.
Yeah.
My one was Delilah from Darker Shade of Magic. I just think so I also went the fantasy route. I just think she's one of those characters. I feel like there's female rage, and then there's like unapologetic female rage that you just like, you don't care like what, you know, the consequences of this are. And I feel like Delilah is very much that. She takes a lot to like get through to that girl emotionally. But when you do, like, and then you might like, I don't know, you break her trust or something, I feel like you're going to deal with the wrath of that.
She's not afraid to show it.
Yeah, definitely. And I just read the Fragile Threads of Power kind of recently, which is like, you get more Delilah in that. And I feel like that just reiterated how kind of ruthless she is when she needs to be honest. But like, again, standing up for herself, we appreciate that.
Yeah. And she's one of those characters who like she's been really brought up to be that way. Like her whole upbringing and growing up, it's like so ingrained in her. So like she can't not be that way.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Exactly.
Lottie, who did you choose?
Okay, I chose Deka from Divine Rivals because I think that he may have actually burned down a kingdom over breakup.
Yeah.
He like incited
It actually
war.
did happen.
So I was
Yeah.
like very literal, but I was trying to think, and I was like, honestly, like a lot of the characters in fantasy books, I felt like who might do that, like I don't know, that are heroes in a sense, like wouldn't do that because they care too much about other people. If that like, I'm trying to think, but like I don't know, any of the bad boys like wouldn't do that because they're not gonna like sacrifice like a whole population just because they were spurned. But villains like Deka, now they would.
They literally would.
I felt like that was a fun one to kind of tie in because I was trying to think like who's kind of like a low-key a villain who would do this just to like do it in a different way.
They have to like, it's a very specific kind of character. It's a very specific kind of rage that they have to experience.
It reminds me,
Who would
Deka reminds me
actually
of like Anger from Inside Out is like how I picture Deka in my head, even though he's like I'm sure like not at all, but I'm like, this is him in my head.
I love that.
I actually haven't watched like I watched the first Inside Out, but I haven't watched the second one.
I've only watched the first.
I've seen the first one so many times. I watched the second one kind of like casually while I was editing one time. So I've like seen it, but like casually, you know what I mean? Like I saw it in the background kind of.
Yeah.
But it was really cute.
Background
Just
noise.
like got kind of like sucked in and then I was like crying and I was like, all right, I need to go to bed. Like,
Oh,
I'm like,
no.
this is too much. Well, because they introduced anxiety. Like it's a whole thing.
Yeah.
It was
That's why I was scared of
got
that.
me.
Yeah.
But no, it's
saw-
sweet. It's a good one.
I saw anxiety in the trailer and I was like, oh, I feel like this is
Well, I
gonna
love
be too
Maya
much
Hawke,
for me.
who plays anxiety. She's
Oh,
awesome.
does
I
she?
loved her in Stranger Things.
Yeah.
And so I was excited to see her in that. Well, not see her, but
I
hear
didn't know
her.
that she played anxiety. I might. That's so cool.
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
know that either. She's
Love
doing a lot of
her.
things.
She's doing who is she? Was she cast recently for like a book to movie? Was she in like,
Oh, she was.
was it Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow?
Oh,
Yes,
Is it
yes.
that? Yeah,
I think that's right.
yeah. Oh,
I think.
I did see the announcement. Yeah.
Which I think that'll be really cool. She really
Yeah.
like embraces characters. I feel like I'm very excited. And then she's in Sunrise on the Reaping. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god. So
What a
excited for
year.
that one.
All right.
The next one is most likely to leave a function without saying goodbye. Okay, Lottie, you go first.
All right. I said Benji from Beartown. Like, he's out. You know, he's not making the rounds. He's like, I'll see you guys later. Like, I felt like to me that one was like the first thing that popped into my head. But then like kind of a random one was actually Mika from The Very Secret Society of a Regular Witch. And like the name of that book, I don't know. I feel like she just would be like, you know what, guys, I'll catch up with you later. Like, I don't know how to describe that one. I felt like this question was such like a hard one to pin down where it's like, if you like, you have to just know them. But
Yeah.
I just feel like Mika would be like, I'm just gonna go, you know, no one will miss me.
Yeah.
But I feel like Benji is my stronger answer. But both of them, I think, kind of would.
I think, yeah, both
about
of
you
those
guys?
fit, yeah. I picked Jax from Once Upon a Broken Heart. Like, he doesn't care. You know, he's making an appearance. He's showing up, keeping his reputation alive, and then he'll just, like, disappear around the corner. You'll
meme
never
of,
see
like,
him again.
The piece and then it fades.
Yeah. All you'll find is, like, a little, like, eaten apple, like, rolling on the floor.
It's like, okay,
where's
so he was
Jax?
here.
Yeah. He was here. Where'd he go? But yeah, he wouldn't care. Like, he doesn't want to
No.
stay for the whole function. There's
Love
no
that.
way.
That's a good answer.
All right, Freya. Who'd you choose?
I put Nesta. But for the fact that like she would arrive and be like, no, like absolutely not. I am not doing this right now. And then just leave. Like not for the kind of sense of I'm just going to fade out. Like just literally like she wouldn't care if everyone just saw her walk out of there.
like a loud, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
not worth my time.
And honestly, I'd agree with her. I'd be like, as is your right,
Yeah.
Nesta.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like good on
Yeah.
her.
Yeah.
She's gonna go back.
Those are kind of like
cozy
some of
into
my
bed.
favorite characters.
Yeah.
Like the kind that would, because they're just like, listen, I know myself well enough to know that I'm not gonna have that much fun if I stay for the whole thing. So I'm just gonna go.
It's like what
Love
you would
y'all.
want to do in that situation.
Yeah.
It's like that. It's like a
I
satisfying
wish.
thing because it's like, oh yeah, that would be nice to have that confidence
Yeah.
to just walk out.
I
Yeah.
wish I'm the worst. Like I will stay till the very end, even though I don't want to, just because I like feel so awkward saying bye.
Yeah.
Yeah. It like just totally
so
depends on what I'm at and what it is.
Yeah.
I think it's just situational for me. Because I definitely would sometimes just be like, all right, I'm gonna go. But
Yeah.
and other things, I'm like yapping everyone's ears off because I'm having so much fun that I didn't even realize like everyone's gone. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
there we go. So it just depends.
All right. Which character would be the competitive board game type? Jamie, if she was a character.
I chose Ove from A Man Called Ove. I just think like he's such a rule stickler that like he wouldn't even be competitive in the sense of like he'll do everything to win, but he'd be competitive in the sense of like if anyone is breaking the rules or doing anything kind of like weird, he's gonna call it out and that's what's gonna stir him. Like that's what's gonna trigger him to get really into it is if someone breaks the rules and he's like, no, that's not how we play. And yeah, that's how he'll get set off.
That's so funny.
Definitely.
I put Alice from Catabasis because I was like, she literally
Okay.
like ventured into hell to get her professor back to get a good recommendation. So I'm like, I could see her like, yeah, again, if somebody like breaks the rules, I can see her being like, absolutely not. Like you're about to win because you broke the rules. No, you're not a winner. So
She's the competitive type for sure. She's got that.
From what I can tell. I haven't read it, but I could see that for sure. Have you guys read Blue Sisters?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I thought you both had. I picked Avery from Blue Sisters, which is the eldest daughter.
That one actually occurred to me as well.
Oh yeah.
She would throw hands. Like if people were cheating, playing Monopoly, I just, she would take it way too seriously in a good, like in an eldest daughter, eldest sister kind of way. And the way they all just like speak to each other and like kind of like fight, I feel like I could just totally see her being like, Bonnie, you can't buy this. I already landed there early. Like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, just getting in the nitty gritty. So I thought she would be a good one for that.
That's true. Yeah, the characters that have like families, like fictional families. Those, I feel like there's always one that would fit this prompt, like one member of the family.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay. Which character is most likely to flirt their way out of trouble? This one's fun.
Yeah, this one is so much fun. I feel like there's so many that like with romance would pop up in your head. So it's like, how do you narrow it down?
There's a lot of characters that have done this. I think that's the thing.
I actually found this one kind of hard to narrow down. I ended up going with Willa from the Chestnut Springs series just because
that's a good one. I didn't even think about her, but yeah.
Yeah, I was just like, I was looking at my romance books and I was like, she is so the kind of character. She is so bubbly and just like honestly lovable though. Like if I was a police officer, I'd be like, go on, you go off, girl. Like don't even worry. Like it can sweet talk her way out of anything. So yeah, I feel like that was my final answer.
Love it.
Nice. I don't know her, but I believe it.
I did think of that as well.
I haven't read Chestnut Springs, Jamie.
I always forget you've read the
because
Wild
you've
Love.
read Rose Hill, yeah.
Yeah, 3 of them. I didn't read the last one, but I read 3 of them, and I'm unhauling them.
Fair enough.
They were okay.
I like Chestnut Springs better.
It was like Chestnut Springs. Yeah, I did. I mean, I've only read Wild Love, but I just from that one. But I feel like Chestnut Springs, it was just like the vibe at the time. It was the moment.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Yeah.
It's a fun one.
Who's yours?
Finnick O'Dare. Immediately.
Oh my god. Yeah.
I love Finnick, and I was like, I need to give a shout out to my favorite flirty boy. So I felt like
absolutely
that one kind of hurts a little, but
it does hurt. Yeah, it's kind of a painful one.
But he's charming. He's the ultimate flirter. So
Okay, I chose Daisy from Daisy Jones and the Six. I feel like she did do
Valid.
this, like, in the story, like, multiple
Yeah, she
times it
probably
happened.
did.
Definitely.
Like, everyone was falling for her. Like, everyone, like,
Yeah.
everyone followed her. Everyone, like, worshipped her.
She was
could
the it
get,
girl.
like, yeah,
Like-
she could get away with anything.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
she was kind of perfect for this one. She's
No,
like the
that's a
first
good
one I thought
highlight.
of.
Okay. What character would be the biggest gossip?
The
I
one I
fun.
chose was mine was really literal. But it was Ellis Dean from The Favorites. 'Cause he literally
Yeah.
had like a gossip
Checks out.
column thing. I'm like,
Yeah.
he was
Checks
There you go.
literally doing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's a good one.
I don't know if either of you, I actually couldn't find a character that both of you had read or like one of you had read for this. So I ended up going with Gibbsy from Boys of Tom, and I don't think either of you have read this series, but
Yeah, I haven't.
he's kind of just like, he's just kind of the character that, again, comedic kind of relief character that also is a little bit of everyone's therapist in the friend group and easily would just
Yeah.
let something slip, like just completely by accident. He doesn't have a gossip
Oops.
column, but my first thought was
Yeah.
like, Lady Whistledown? Like, can we say that? Or is that too literal?
Yeah. I thought
I mean,
about I thought I was like,
technically,
yeah, I thought about that one too. I haven't read those, so I felt like I couldn't say it, but
Yeah.
that one did cross my mind. I chose two. Again, I have Mort from Crown of Midnight, which I mean, I don't know if Mort. I did see Mort once in
Yeah.
Airfire so far. I don't know like how much we see Mort throughout the rest of Throne of Glass, but Mort, if you didn't know, is this kind of like animated door knocker. And I just feel like he's got all the tea, you know? Like
Yeah.
he's
that's true.
he's been around for years. He's like he knows a lot. He's observed a lot. So I felt like he was a fun one. And then this one is actually the one I said Rocky for, because I feel like Rocky would be such a little gossip, like without even meaning to. But you know, he'd be just like I don't know. I feel like Rocky hate Mark. You know, he'd be like rolling over and be like, "So did you meet Mark?" Like, because Rocky
Yeah.
hates Mark. And
Rocky
like
hate
I don't know. I just feel like he would just get so excited about meeting people and just accidentally overshare
Like,
in like the best
Does he
way.
know what gossip is? He probably is just like, oh, you told me this, so I tell the person that you told me about.
Exactly. It's just information to Rocky.
Yeah, it's
She's
just
like,
the
I figured you'd
truth.
want to know.
Yeah. Oh, I love Rocky so
That's
much.
so funny.
That's such a good one. Okay, we have two more. So the next one is, which character would bring a book to a party? There were a lot of characters for this one, I feel like.
Yeah.
Who should
Definitely.
go first? Freya? Do you want to go first?
I feel like this one, I had to say it. Bella from Twilight. I had to say
I didn't even think of that, but yep. Spot
I was
on.
like,
I didn't think of that
I'm
either.
sure she did, multiple times.
She's
and
not
then,
like the other girls, so
Literally, she was the one that like inspired me to bring books to a party when I was in high school. And I was like, oh.
oh my god.
But,
What
like,
did
it
you read
needed
at
to
the
be said.
parties?
Oh, I read everything. I remember explicitly bringing Inkheart one time.
Okay.
Don't know why of that, but like I have a very vivid memory of that. And I was just like sitting in my corner reading Inkheart while everyone else. I was like, I'm different. I'm cool.
You're so not like the other girls.
It's so fine. We've passed that.
Oh my
But yeah.
goodness.
Anyway.
Lottie, who's yours?
Okay. I have again multiple. So Elizabeth Zott from Lessons in Chemistry. Have you guys read that?
Yes.
I haven't actually.
That's a
Okay.
I
perfect
feel like it's a
one.
bit criminal of me, but
Oh, it's okay. It's a good one if you are having Kristen Hanna withdrawals. I feel like it's not like Kristen Hanna, but it's kind of historical fiction. It's a little bit longer. It's a little bit like more emotional. So
yeah.
that's kind of how I pitch it if you like are looking for something kind of similar, but maybe a little more literary and just a different author.
Yeah.
But there's a TV show too that you can watch, which is really good.
Yeah, I did know that.
And that author has another book coming out.
Oh, does
Her
she?
first book since Lessons in Chemistry is coming out, I think this fall. I can't remember the name, but I'm really excited about it. So,
Oh.
but yeah, Elizabeth Zott is just like one of those kinds of characters that doesn't really care what people think of her, and she's very scholastic, very like
Yep.
academic. So made sense for her. And then I also thought Emily Wilde from the Emily Wilde series would totally bring a book to a
Yes.
party.
Yes.
She's totally the type to me. And then I also had Matilda, just from Matilda, obviously. A little bit
That's
of a
so
different
cute.
one, but yeah,
I
she's one of
love
my
it.
faves. So
A little throwback one.
yeah.
Oh, I love. I had Kate from Firefly Lane because I
Yeah.
feel like she would get dragged to things by Tully and then she would show up with a book just to like pass the time while like Tully had the time of her life,
Yeah. Just that like introverted
essentially.
like vibe in a good way.
Yeah, and like, like has to keep her extroverted friend company, but like, just sends her off to the party and like sits in the corner reading a book
It's
till her
just
Yeah.
friend's done.
Last question. Which character would never use their name when ordering coffee? I love that.
How did we think of these?
This is
I don't
kind of
even know how we
hard.
thought of these.
It kind of was. I loved the question, and then I was like, oh wait, who?
Wait,
Jamie,
Yeah.
do you want to go first?
Yeah.
Yeah,
What did you say,
so
Jamie?
I know Lottie, you're not in the Cosmere yet. I don't think. Have you read Mistborn?
No.
Okay.
No.
But I put Hoyd from the Cosmere overall because if you don't know who Hoyd is, he's like a Where's Waldo kind of
Yeah,
a
I was gonna
character,
say.
is what we describe him as. He just kind of pops up everywhere. Like he's in every single book, but sometimes he goes by different names, literally. And
Uh-huh.
like sometimes he'll go like show up as different forms. Like you don't really know who Hoyd's gonna be when you see him
Mm-hmm.
next. But when he pops up, like you're like, oh, that's Hoyd.
Mm-hmm.
And you always kind of know. So I feel like very literally, like Hoyd would
Yeah.
never just order a coffee and be like, I'm Hoyd. Like he would be assuming another kind of form of a Hoyd. So
Yeah.
That's a
that
fun
one
one.
fits.
I chose Evelyn Hugo for this one because I just feel like she's like, no one talk to me, no one look at me. I've got my sunglasses on. Like if she's going
Yeah.
to her
Okay.
like local coffee shop in New York, if she's heading out for the day, she's kind of incognito, Like she's not
Yeah.
really trying to have the paparazzi come. I felt like this one for like a lot of famous people made sense, but like
Yeah.
Daisy loves the spotlight. Daisy Jones, like I think would want to use her name, but
Yeah.
Evelyn is kind of like this is not
I've had my
it's not
moment.
Evelyn.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She's having a quieter time,
She
at
needs
least
her
in like the
quiet
present
time.
timeline in that book.
Yeah.
So that
I
is who I
love
thought
that.
of. What about you,
That's
Freya?
a good one.
I actually like could not think of anyone for this one and ended up putting Kaz from Six of Crows again, even though I've had another Six of Crows. But I was just like, I feel like it's just the kind of character, like in any situation that just wants to be discreet. Like, and he's like, in this situation, is literally like pulling off a heist. He's doing a lot of illegal stuff. So he's not about to be like, I'm Kaz, like I am wanted. Here's my coffee order. He's gonna like
Here I am.
try and yeah, literally. It's gonna be a little bit more discreet. But I actually found this one really hard. Hoyd is probably the best. And then Evelyn, that's a really good one.
Yeah, I
Now
didn't
like
even
throughout
think
the
of
day,
that
they're gonna
route.
occur to me.
Yeah, of like famous people just trying to not get caught by like the paparazzi. I didn't even think of that angle. So I like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's a good
Or
one.
I
I
was
was
that's
thinking
thinking
of
good.
like
like
who
with
else.
just like names that were long and hard to spell. Because like honestly, like even just with my name as
Mm.
Lottie, sometimes I'll just say some easy to spell name because they always spell it wrong because they think it's like Laudi or something. I'm like, no, no. Um, and so sometimes I'm just like, and like even for like Anders, like he'll just say like Andy sometimes because they're like,
Yeah.
wait,
Oh.
they're like Anderson and like I don't know. I think it's just when there's like longer, confusing names or ones that are like trickier to spell. Like I also was thinking about Selena. Also, not to
Yeah.
like give anything away with any of that, but even just spelling Selena would be hard.
There's a lot of
To where I'm
vowels.
like,
Yeah.
I'd give a nickname or something. I don't know. I was
Yeah.
thinking along those lines.
The logical side
Yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
things.
Yeah.
I like it. Okay, that was the end of our game. Oh my goodness.
That
That
was
was
so
so
much
much
fun.
fun.
I got some book recs from it. I love it.
Yeah, I
Yes,
think
we're gonna need to hear about best offer wins once you read it.
Yes.
yes,
Yeah, you
please.
will.
Have the best unhinged time. And yeah, you'll be like, this girl needs therapy. This book wouldn't have
Be like,
happened.
I'll agree.
Yeah.
I support women's rights and
And
wrongs.
Yeah.
yes. Ex- the craziest thing about that book is like how like similar to me, she started in the book, like kind of like a similar age, similar situation, similar like she was Asian too, and she spent all of her time in like leggings and loungewear, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
Same.
It's all right.
Why
I'm
are we
sure
the
the
same?
similarities stop there.
Yeah. Then she started doing things, and I was like, oh.
It's like you
Never
might have the
mind.
impulsive thoughts, you don't act on them.
Hopefully not. Hopefully
Yeah,
we don't like
well.
break and like get to that point.
Honestly, like, I don't know. I had so much fun with that book, though.
Yeah.
I'm so
No,
excited
it's just
now.
a good time.
Yeah,
Okay.
totally.
Well, Lottie, thank you for coming on the pod today and
Thank you so
playing
much
our
for
little fun
having
character
me.
game with us. Had so much
Yeah, it
fun.
was so much fun. I love this
Let's do it
concept,
again.
and it was definitely a blast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to.
All right. So everyone definitely go check out Lottie's channel. She's on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all of that kind of thing. We'll link all of her info so you can find her, but I'm sure a lot of you guys already know who she is. But if you guys are still here listening to the end, thanks for listening wherever you are in the world or whatever time zone you're in.
Until next time, stay comfy and keep reading.
Don't forget to subscribe and follow us on socials for more bookish content.
Bye. See you next week.